Welcome guys, this is going to be our first video tutorial of the new desk for church, Yamaha TF5 series. So I'm very excited about this. We're going to have a bunch of short tutorial videos on just what's happening on this desk so that we can start using it better at church. So today's video is going to consist of a general overview of the front panel, what we're seeing here. So we have the TF5, which has got 32 different faders. Here at the top you have your select button to select your different channels on the desk, all the way up until 32, and you can also select your master fader. And then of course all of these faders are motorized. You also have your Q function, which we will discuss a little bit later, and then your mute function, on or off. So whenever the light is lit, that means the channel is active. When it's unlit, the channel is not active. Then of course here we have our general mix. As you will see, as I'm fading one of the faders, on your little display over here, it shows you where your decibel meter is running up. So all the way up it goes up to 10 decibel, all the way down it goes to minus infinity. So it's just a visual indication of the loudness of that channel. As I said, the faders are motorized. This is our main layer. On the right hand side over here we have all the different layers that the desk can support. So right at the top, it's on master in general. Right at the top we have aux 1, so as soon as you press that, it goes to your aux 1 send. When you repress the same button, it goes back to your main mix, to the front panel. As you see, all the faders go back to where they were. So this desk has 8 individual aux outputs, and then you also have combination aux or sends from 9 up until 20, and you've got 2 dedicated effects buses, which we will also discuss a little bit later. And right underneath that you have your tap function for your digital tap delay. Then as we get to the front panel, the screen over here, this is where all the fun happens. So as you select any of the channels, if you'll watch the screen there, I'm going to select channel 10, then it changes all the bottom ranges to that bank on the screen, and channel 10 is selected. If you go to channel 20, again the bottom part changes, and all of this is editable, of course, which we will discuss in a later video. Over here we have the iPad input, so this is for music playback, and then you have your levels over here that you can adjust. So there's 2 different STNs. The other in is on the back of the mixer, and then over here you have your hardware port for direct recording onto a flash disk or a hard drive. Then over on this panel we have user-defined keys, which we will discuss later, as we haven't actually set up specific uses for them yet. At the moment they are recording different scenes, so we would probably use them to save different band setups, and just have the mixer easier to use from the beginning. You also have this nifty mute function over here, which you can just immediately mute all your inputs. So say you are playing background music in church and you don't want anybody messing around, you just input that and you just select your background music to keep on playing. So you mute the inputs, or you can just mute the effects. So in the middle of a song or in between songs, if the person leading the song needs to talk a bit, you mute the effects, then his voice doesn't sound weird over the system. And then of course you can edit your effects buses here. You can also cue them. Over here you have your reader, so you see what the volume looks like whenever you are selecting any of your channels, to just make sure that you're in the right spot for your sound. Then these user-defined knobs we'll also get into a little bit later. And then this is the touch and turn button, which is one of the coolest features on this desk, which we will discuss a little bit later. And then of course this screen is completely touch screen, so you can do anything on it. If you recall any of the settings, you can go into your gain structure. This is also one of the best gain structures at the moment, the gain finder, which we will also discuss in a later video, as when we are discussing the inputs on the desk. You have your parametric EQ, which you can first select that you can adjust it, and then by pinching and pulling you adjust the Q of it. You can adjust it anywhere you want to. It's a fully parametric EQ. That's fantastic. Over here you have your gate function, which we'll also discuss a little bit later. Over here you have your compression, effects 1, effects 2, and this is your send to your auxes. So you can have easy access on any channel, and at the bottom you can just assign it to DCA groups and recall and save stuff on the channel. So that is your basic overview of the Yamaha TF5. Then of course this is your home button. Whenever you need to go back to your home screen, you just press that. This button brings up your presets for EQs, any preset that's on the desk. The desk has a multitude of presets, and this is just another menu button where you can find different functions depending on which menu you are in. Cool, so that's the first video on the Yamaha TF5. We will have many more to just explain the wonderful features of this desk. So if we look at the back of the desk, we see we have 32 inputs. All these inputs are combi jacks, so they can take an XLR cable or a jack-to-jack cable. Then we have our network cable input. Right next to the network cable input you have the USB input and a foot switch that you can buy extra. So then we also have the two ST inputs that we saw on the front of the desk as well. So both of these are RCA inputs and ideal for playing background music during breaks in the service. And then we have 16 outputs on this desk. Channel 15 and channel 16 are used for the main outputs, left and right, and then 1 to 8 are dedicated for your auxes, and then 9 to 14 then can be used as stereo outputs, as we saw on the front of the desk with the different aux selections.